Hey there, YouTubers. Just wanted to spend a little time this afternoon talking about how to find rent to own homes near you. And there are a lot of ways to do this, but there are some ways that are certainly easier than others. But I'm going to share one that I use, and it's a search technique that I use quite a bit. A lot of people know about it, but there's a lot of people who don't. And you'll notice on the screen here in the Google search box, I have typed in one word, no spaces, all in title, colon, and then rent to own Kansas City. And I'm just using that for an example. Depending on what city you live in, you could go rent to own Wichita. You could go rent to own Cleveland, Ohio. Whatever, wherever you're at, this will work. This search technique is called a Google search operator. And I will put a link in the description box to the Google search operator page where it gives you a whole bunch of different tools you can use in different searches. But this one works. Say, for instance, you're wanting to buy a home in Kansas City, you don't have the down payment, maybe your credit rating, your credit score is not high enough. There are any number of reasons why it may be difficult for you to buy a home the traditional way. There's still the option of buying a home through a rent to own situation. And you'll notice here, I typed in rent to own Kansas City using a Google search operator. And here are, a lot of my results on the first page. There's a site called Housing List. Find rent to homes in Kansas City, Missouri on housinglist.com. And they got a couple of places there on the first page. And then there's this rent to own homes in Kansas City, Missouri. It's called a realtystore.com. If you click on that, you're going to find a number of options. And, we're just right off the bat, you'll notice that, there's one on Flora Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 988 square feet. It's a rent to own situation. And there are just so many, there are a lot of advantages to buying a home this way. And the probably the most obvious reason is the down payment issue. Now, traditional loan through a bank, you're generally looking at least a 10% down payment. Well, on a $120,000 home, that would be $12,000, and a lot of people just can't do that. Yeah. Now there are other types of loans like FHA. You can purchase a home for maybe 3%, 3 to 5%. There are different options, and mortgage companies and banks will certainly go over some of those options with you. But um, rent to own is one of the very rare opportunities where you can oftentimes buy a home with no down payment. It may be a credit score that's, I don't know, under 600 or something like that. But it's not good enough for the bank, but it would be good enough in a rent to own situation. Lots of advantages because, for one, you get to live in this home, you get to try it before you buy it, and you get a pretty good idea of what you're getting into before you actually purchase it. And that's a big advantage over the traditional way of looking at a house, and then you maybe you get another return visit to look at the house, and then you're really depending upon a mechanical inspection to give you a better idea whether you should buy the house or not. And then that just, that really depends on the inspector, how accomplished they are and thorough they are. So I think there are a lot of advantages. Yeah, there are some disadvantages, but there are advantages and disadvantages to every kind of mortgage situation, every kind of house buying technique you might you might undertake in the purchase of a home. But this is, as I shared with you, this is called a Google search operator. Simply type in allintitle colon and then rent to own Kansas City. You could try some other things. You could try lease option Kansas City, lease option Los Angeles. Wherever you live. This will generally really help you zero in on what you're looking for. I mean, because let's face it, the traditional way to buy a house, you've got Zillow and a lot of different big websites for real estate, but those cater to traditional approaches to buying a house. We're talking about rent to own. How to find rent to own homes near me. And you can do that using this Google trick. And as I shared with you, I will put a link in the description box to the Google search operator page. But I also will put a link to a site that will find you rent-to-own homes near you just using your zip code. And it's totally free of charge. That link is down below. Shoot your zip code in there and see what you come up with. That kind of, if you live in a big city like Kansas City or Cleveland, Ohio, as we mentioned earlier, it would really, if you're wanting to find one near you, in the neighborhood that you grew up in or you're most comfortable with, the best approach would be to use this site using your zip code. So that link is down below. Click it. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. This channel, Ad Blast 102, is dedicated mostly to how-to videos, and I hope that you'll comment if this was helpful for you. Thanks again for watching this video.